Today I'll be reviewing One Piece episode 811 and 812. So episode 811 is called I'll Wait Here, Luffy versus the Enraged Army. So Luffy and Nami continue to fight Big Mom's army, that is, until Nami ends up getting captured by one of Big Mom's children. We also see that King Bomb gets killed, sliced in half by Amande, and her sword, which she makes sure to point out that it's famous. And she also says that she does it in half because it's worse when she does it like that. So yes, she's a savage. We also see Luffy, who ends up in the cream guy's trap. We also see a bit of Chopper and Carrot, who are still fighting Broly and her minions. I feel like they need to just give us a half an episode or maybe even a whole episode or parts of an episode because we only get a bit of Chopper and Carrot every episode. And I feel like they could wrap this up quickly and maybe that's why they're taking forever with it. But I don't know. Honestly, I feel like we should be getting more of this. We also see Luffy who ends up trapped in the world of books created by one of Big Mom's children's devil fruit powers. And it appears that it keeps his mind in the book while his body stays in the real world. So Luffy ends up getting beat up inside the book world and in real life too. His actual body ends up getting beat up, not his real life body. Luffy also had to take two punches from his to his front and his back with Haki in a row from Big Ma's children. And also during this episode, we also got to see Sanji who goes to Big Ma and asks for a favor, and the favor was to let his friends go so that he can get married with Pudding in peace, I guess. And I saw that Big Ma answering two ways. Like she's just like, yeah, but you have to do this, this, and that, or no, are you crazy? And she actually chose yes, which was crazy. And she even says it herself that she can be very reasonable, but really letting the Straw Hats go. And then she says that she'll let all your Straw Hats who are your friends go. So that wording might be a bit misleading. So it could that mean that she'll let them go now, but when they're already gone, they won't be Sanji's friends. So she could attack them. But no, she says that she'll turn a blind eye. She also reminds Sanji that about the things that the Straw Hats have done to her. I guess she doesn't consider Sanji a part of the Straw Hats anymore. And she says that they're normally inexcusable since Luffy destroyed her forest and took out Cracker and ate her candy on Fishman Island and picked a fight with her at the exact same time. So we already knew about all of this because, these are Luffy's most savage. Some might call it brave, but Luffy's pretty savage when you come down to it. He went and challenged Big Ma after eating her food. Like, she had the right to be mad, and he just picked a fight with her to make it 10 times worse. But Big Ma says that if Sanji doesn't run away, everything will turn out for the best. Then we switch over to Luffy on the battlefield, and then we also see Amande who reaches into Nami's chest and finds Big Mom's Vivre card that says Lola on it, and some of them actually seem like they cared for Lola. But then Nami tells them that she and Lola are friends, and we also see that they're calling Lola a runaway. Yeah, I believe she mentioned that back in Thriller Bark that she did run away, but why did she run away? I believe it was to go and search for love out in sea. But geez, shouldn't she still be a part of Big Mom's crew since she's her daughter? Then one of Big Mom's crew members tries to drag Luffy away, but he won't give up since he wants to stay there for Sanji. And then he has to stomp Luffy out until he passes out to take him and go, and the episode ends. That episode right there showed that Big Mom can be very reasonable with the right deals. Like, this is all in Sanji's favor right now. Not getting Luffy back for what he did doesn't benefit her at all, except for the fact that Sanji won't run away. So she literally would have forgiven Luffy for everything he's done so far, challenging her, beating up her son, just for Sanji getting married to her daughter. But Luffy doesn't know about this deal, so he keeps on fighting. But I believe even if he did know about it, he'd probably keep still fighting anyway. Anyways, now to episode 812, and it's called Invading the Chateau, Reach the Road Poneglyph. So it starts off with Luffy captured inside a library prison created by one of Big Mom's sons. And it's actually pretty cool how you can see inside of the book there's like a jail. And on the page next to where the jail is, you can also see Luffy's name, his bounty, and it's all in Japanese, but I'm pretty sure it says something about why or how he became a pirate or his transgressions as a pirate or basically his crimes. I think that's pretty cool. We also see Chopper for a bit again, and he's planning on using. He's coming up with a plan, and it involves his monster form, but he hasn't really said what it is yet. Then we get back to Brooke, who has found Big Mom's treasure repository, where she's keeping two poneglyphs and one road poneglyph. I'm not sure if it was said before, but it was explained again that there are 30 poneglyphs and that they've never been broken. If I remember correctly, the only poneglyphs that we've seen are the first one we saw was on Alabasta, then on Sky Island, then on Ohara, then Zoe, and then and Fishman Island. Well, Luffy and the others haven't seen the one in Ohara because it's in the West Blue. I'm wondering if somebody actually owns it. I'm guessing the world government has claimed it by now, but we're not too sure. And out of the 30, 9 of them have specific kinds of information, and if you take them all to Raftel, the truth of the world will be revealed. And they say you need the 4 poneglyphs to become the Pirate King. Well, Big Mom would become the Pirate Queen. Tamako also says it's a worthy quest for the Yonko, and I'm like, shouldn't you only be worried about Big Mom? Anyways, we also get our first introduction into another one of the sweet generals, and her name is Smoothie, and her devil fruit looks weird. It looks like she squeezed the life out of someone and turned her into a drink, which was gross. And we also find out that she's the 14th daughter of Big Mom's, and that she has a bounty of 932 million berries. That is a crazy high number. That's the second highest bounty I believe we've seen so far. Jack's was 1 billion berries. So yeah, she's pretty much that close to Jack if they gave her a bounty that high. And considering what usually happens is that one of the female characters beats, like Nami usually ends up beating whatever female character is there, or Robin, and Robin isn't here now, so I don't see how Nami taking out Smoothie, who has a bounty that's like hundreds of Nami's bounties basically. After that, we get to Brooke, who reports back to Pedro and says that security is tough and that they probably won't make it back here if they have to start all over. And at the same time, if they just charge in recklessly, they'll probably just end up dead. Then Brooke recalls what Pedro said to them the other day that Luffy would need the poneglyphs if he wants to be Pirate King, and says that it really like touched him. So then Brooke asks Pedro if he's willing to become bait, and Pedro says that that's exactly what he was thinking. I'm like, yo, is Pedro really about to do this? Would Pedro die for the Straw Hats? I'm starting to feel like Pedro should join the crew too. People already want Carrot to join the crew. Pedro and Carrot, 2 minks on the crew, plus a fishman, Jinbei coming. We'd have quite the interesting crew. So I'm really interested to see what they're gonna come up with. Anyways, then we get back to Chopper with his plan that involves Monster Point, and he just basically told Carrot what they were doing, and it kind of pissed off Brewerly to hear them whispering. And then we get to Big Ma, who's showing the Vinsmoke's books with her animals, and she has one of those lions that escaped from Impel Down, along with a unicorn, and apparently she has a griffin. I'm actually really interested to see her griffin. Also, if someone had a griffin fruit, would that be considered a mythical zone type? That would be pretty cool to see. And after that, Judge then points out that there are all races here in like her territory, but he says he hasn't seen any giants, which seems to have made her angry. But she says that she just hasn't seen any yet, which I'm pretty sure she's lying about, because obviously you'd notice a giant. But then again, she has 35 islands, so there is a chance they haven't seen any. But Judge does say he's sure he would have saw it. Like obviously you'd notice a giant. He says he's just seen people that are bigger than regular people. Is that just what they're gonna call them? People that are bigger than regular people? Like so Whitebeard would just be called a person that's bigger than a regular person. I feel like these like giant people like Whitebeard is huge compared to Luffy and other people. I always thought maybe they belonged to a specific race themselves, but I guess they don't. I'm wondering if Big Ma is mad because Judge pointed out that she doesn't actually have any giants with her on her side, because they may not wanted to join her, or because Big Ma is a giant herself and nobody ever thinks of her as one, because maybe she's like a short one. I remember how Pound kind of Nami thought he was a giant, but he wasn't. So maybe this is a similar situation in which people never think of Big Ma as a giant, but she is. It would be pretty weird to find out that she was just like a rare species of like midget giants, which actually are just the regular sized people. That would be kind of strange. But it would explain why she's been able to live so long considering how old some of her children are. I also thought it was funny when one of her like lackeys walks in and he just sees the Germa and he's just like fanboying and gets nervous. And he's like, Ichiji and Niji are just as cool as I thought they'd be. I just thought that moment was funny. Like Big Ma has like you work for a Yonko, but you're gonna be impressed by another like strong group. Like really? Now, if it was Kaido, we know what he did to two of his men who thought Luffy were a threat. He sent them flying immediately. But Big Ma just says that he shouldn't be concerned about how they look. Then Luffy talks to Big Mom over the Denden Moshi, and she reminds him of what he did on Fishman Island because why would he come back here without his crew if he after what he said on Fishman Island? Then Big Mom says he's doomed, but Luffy says that he just wants to fight her here and now since he's mad and he just wants Sanji. So it looks like Luffy has pissed off Big Mom beyond belief, so she's probably not going to keep her reasonable promise with Sanji anymore. So, and it looks like in the next episode, Luffy's actually going to confront Big Mom, which will be crazy. I don't think he's ready for this at all, but we'll see what happens. Anyways, let me know what you guys thought of this episode in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and bye.